Hi, my name is Vena. I'm originally from Rea, but I live in Nandi. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Bula, I'm John from Kornabuan, Papua. I love listening to Today FM. It rocks.
Bula, I'm Teopola.
Bula, I'm Makanisi.
We love listening to Today FM because it rocks in Ba.
Bula, my name is Tisa. I love listening to Today FM.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
Tonight, where is the asylum seeker from PNG remains the question. Garment industry loses millions due to skills shortage. And shocking rape statistics for January.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
5 days after the arrival of a so-called Iranian refugee from Papua New Guinea, there are still unanswered questions about the details surrounding his situation. Logman Sawari continues to evade the media while still present in Fiji. He's still posting comments about his stay in the country. However, he's yet to present himself to the authorities to further his application for refugee status. His lawyer, Aman Ravindra Singh, was not contactable today to answer questions on his client's legal status. We now join Edwin Nunn to find out more about this interesting case.
Jackie, as you said, it has been 5 days now, and while Sawari continues his comments on social media, FBC News has been able to establish that he in fact entered Fiji on a genuine PNG passport. This of course now raises further questions, such as how did he manage to get a PNG passport if he supposedly escaped from Manus Island? Does he then intend to apply for refugee status as an Iranian or PNG refugee? Sawari is also yet to present himself to Fijian immigration authorities, something that is expected immediately of people applying for refugee status as soon as they enter a country. We also want to know how and from where he contacted Aman Ravindra Singh to represent him. Singh's phone has been diverted all day today. Meanwhile, the Fiji Human Rights and Anti-Discrimination Commission says this is a sensitive case.
Therefore, I'm asking all political actors in the country to refrain from politicizing this issue. It's a highly sensitive issue. We have to recognize the humanity of this individual and the enormous trauma that he is still undergoing.
Fiji is missing out on millions of dollars in exports because people aren't interested in free training to improve skills in the garment industry. The Textile Clothing and Footwear Council says this is stopping manufacturers from expanding into niche fashion markets. Ritika Pratap reports.
Local manufacturers continue to face skills shortages due to lack of job interest in the garment industry.
Technical College has already been offering a free sewing machinist course. They run a course for a period of 2 weeks. There's no charge. But I'm told they're actually even having difficulty finding trainees.
TCF Council President Kaushik Kumar says a lot of factories are providing on-the-job training and paying them trainee rates to address this issue.
The growth opportunities are limited, especially in fashion, due to the lack of skilled labor. I mean, when you're making fashion apparel, you do need highly skilled sewing machinists, you need good pattern makers, you need good quality controllers. We have a limitation on availability of these locally.
Apart from a $100,000 annual grant, the government has set up technical colleges to help with this issue.
We're constantly working, trying to improve whatever it is that we can with respect to our skill base here. I know that we, right in a couple of years ago, we had a skill shortage with respect to the TCF sector, but we've worked with the universities. They've addressed that issue.
The council is hoping more people will take advantage of the sewing machinist training provided by the Technical College. The Fiji National University also has a Certificate 3 course in Applied Fashion and Design. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
A total of 34 serious sexual offences were reported in the first month of 2017. The Office of the Director of Public Prosecution says 14 people were charged with 34 separate incidents. There were 28 rape offences, 1 case of attempted rape, an indecent assault and 4 sexual assaults. 9 victims were under the age of 18. There was 1 incident of rape where the accused was a 60-year-old and the victim was his 8-year-old grandson. The youngest victim was a 5-year-old and the accused was a 50-year-old man. There were 5 offences where the victims were related to the accused persons. There's been a growing public outcry since yesterday's disparity in jail terms handed down to a child rapist and the much harsher sentence given to marijuana cultivators. Yesterday, 2 men were jailed for 18 and 19 years respectively for growing marijuana, while a former police officer was jailed for 12 years for raping a 14-year-old girl. Roland Karoy reports.
It's an issue that's been of public concern for some time.
It should be like higher, 20 years, 25 years, or something major to be given to them.
Rapists should be sentenced to life in prison.
It's not fair. They should be, severely punished. More punishment should be given to them.
Rapists should be sent away for good because of the hurt they have caused.
The public is uneasy because of what's perceived to be the disparity in the jail terms for rapists compared to other serious offenders such as drug farmers and violent robbers.
The penalties have improved, but not the way we would like it to be. We'd like it to be non-parole to show the seriousness of the crime.
Shamima Ali advocates harsher sentences but also believes rapists need the right form of rehabilitation behind bars.
It's not okay just to put someone away for 20 years or 25 years. What happens with that person within the prison system is very important so that the person does not come out and re-offend.
Last August, 2 marijuana farmers on separate occasions got 15 and 13-year jail terms. Just this week, another 2 farmers got 18 and 19-year jail terms for similar offences. Compared to rape cases such as the one in Lautoka last November, 1 man was jailed for only 12 years for raping his 12-year-old neighbour. And now the rapist of a 14-year-old is sent to jail for only 12 years as well.
I think the question of whether we're going to have harsher sentences is a detraction from the larger issue about the structural nature of sexual violence in Fiji.
With sexual crimes on the rise, it may only be a matter of time before the growing public outcry leads to the courts applying the full extent of the law and sending sexual offenders to jail for longer periods. Roland Karoy, FBC News.
And Roland joins us live now. Roland, tell us, what was the mood like when you went out today?
Well, Jackie, this isn't the first time that FBC News has sought public opinion on this particular issue, as we have done for many other stories. And the general feedback in this case has always been the same. People have been calling for harsher penalties for rapists, and some are even calling for corporal punishment. Will they be heard? That remains to be seen. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Roland. Prime Minister Vurenge Bainimarama has renewed his invite for US President Donald Trump to come see for himself the effects of climate change. Preparing to chair the 23rd Conference of Parties, Bainimarama remains hopeful that as a present signatory to the Paris Agreement, the US leader will come to the table.
Morning, everyone. It's the first time a small island country is taking charge of climate change talks attended by more than 100 countries.
I again pledge publicly that Fiji intends to make COP23 an unqualified success on behalf of the global community.
Patricia Espinosa, the Executive Secretary of the United Nations Convention on Climate Change Secretariat, has been in Fiji since Monday, observing work on the ground.
Fijian presidency of the COP will be one very important moment in order to cement what the international community has been able to draw as a very clear line of action towards the future.
Prime Minister Vurenge Bainimarama says teams led by Fiji are already in negotiations to gain more support, especially with larger nations who aren't fully on board.
One of the things that we need to look at are the differences between the countries, especially the bigger economies and vulnerable ones like us. And that's one of the issues that we need to deal with.
Supporting the Prime Minister as President is our core business. Him, of course, and his team, because there are too many things going on. He cannot do it alone.
The Fijian government is setting up a local secretariat to prepare for the conference in Germany come November. It's one of the most important dates ever for small island states. Edwin Nand, FBC News.
Still ahead, SEDELPA creates history with nominations. And land battle carries on in Tamavua.
मेरा नाम कमल रोशनी है। हम लोगों में रहते हैं और मिर्ची FM सबसे बेस्ट स्टेशन है।
हमारा नाम मेसी है, हम गोल्ड टाउन तावुआ में रहता है।
Our Mirchi is hot in Tafwa.
Hi, we Bajels. We love Mirchi FM because it's hot.
Nivesh Tavrao Ameritan Suntaya Mirchi FM is very hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
SODELPA is on the verge of creating history by having both its leaders as members of the Electoral Commission. Reliable sources have confirmed to FBC News that SODELPA parliamentary leader Rotemu Mukepa has requested for party leader Sitiveni Rambuka to also be appointed as a member of the commission. Rambuka ousted Rotemu as party leader after an acrimonious selection process within the opposition party last year. Rambuka will replace Suva lawyer Richard Naidu, who was the previous representative of the party on the commission. Fijians are free to travel to the United States of America. U.S. Ambassador to Fiji Judith Sefkin has assured Fiji and other Pacific Islanders that they will not be affected by the Donald Trump policies of restricted travel to America. Maggie Boyle tells us more.
The U.S. representative to Fiji is making it clear the travel ban is nothing to worry about.
The good news is that it does not apply to citizens of Fiji or other Pacific Island countries. So, as you said, there's been some fake news out there, and I do want to caution people to be very cautious about these news sources.
Sefkin says the new policy, which affects 7 Muslim-majority countries, is simply a security measure.
We continue to see the best way to implement this guidance to make sure that we're, continuing to process visas.
FBC News spoke to some Fijians about what they think of the U.S. travel ban.
Pretty ridiculous. I mean, there shouldn't be any. So the protesters there, they're doing a fantastic job.
It doesn't really matter.
I think the President, Mr. Donald Trump, is trying to protect America from terrorism, to make it a safe place.
It's not even appropriate to even, make that ban because everyone's equal, right?
Less than a week since the U.S. travel ban has been put in place, and its initial confusion is now being clarified, at least insofar as its effects on Fijians. Unless you have dual citizenship with one of the restricted countries, you're free to travel in and out of the United States. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Suva High Court Judge Justice Alesi Themo has found 34-year-old taxi driver Binesh Prasad guilty of 5 counts of murder, 1 count of attempted murder, 1 count of arson, and 1 count of damaging property. The incident occurred on the 15th of October 2015 in Navosai. The accused set fire to the house where 5 people, including his wife and their 10-year-old daughter, died in the fire. Prasad pleaded guilty to the charges yesterday. Justice Themo will hear the sentencing submissions from the defense and state lawyers this afternoon before Prasad is sentenced. Present-day Tamavua landowners are claiming their elders did not tell them about their land being sold to developers Bindi Brothers years ago. The landowners are also anxious that the development will damage their burial site. But the developer says the burial site does not fall in its area, and he has no intention of disturbing it. Sainani Boiler tells us more.
Claims and counterclaims are being made on more than 100 acres of this Tamavua land.
Till now, we're still holding on to the site, and we're going for the injunction, court injunction. I think the injunction will be ready till. Maybe this day, because that's selling of their land. It was a scam.
Villagers of Ndalainrandro says this old burial site has been part of the community since 1923 and it is still being used to this day. The villagers say this is the reason they have such attachment to this site, which for them has a historical significance as well. K. Bindi Brothers lawyer Viren Kapadia says his client bought the land in 1968 and has documents to prove it.
This land has been bought by K. Bindi for perhaps now over 45 years ago. And so they are the registered title holders of this land in freehold.
With the legality of the landowner's decision to stop the development is being questioned, both parties have opted to refer the matter to their lawyers to resolve this issue. Sainiani Mboila, FBC News.
National disaster management officers will now be able to communicate better after natural disasters. This is after NDMO received 2 high-frequency manpacks from the World Food Programme, which is a portable device similar to a walkie-talkie, but much more powerful. Assistant Minister for NDMO, Joeli Dawaki, says the packs are important as communication is vital in emergency response operations.
This morning we have achieved another milestone where WFP will hand over 2 HF manpack, which is here before us, communication sets to the NDMO for emergency communication. I, on behalf of the Minister and also the Ministry and the Government of Fiji, wish to thank WFP for that kind gesture. We want to assure you that all this emergency communication equipment will be put to good use.
Rachel now joins us for the latest in the world of business.
Good evening. Coming up in business, ANZ partners with local fashion designers. And later on in growing Fiji, Ellington Wharf back in operation after 14 years.
And later on in sports with Jamie, local soccer season starts this weekend. Stay with us.
Hello, we from Latoka. We love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Hola, my name is Kanto. I'm from Ba. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Mula Fiji, my name is Florence Ratu. I'm from Call Number 1 in Tavua, and I love listening to Gold FM. Only the classic hits every day and all day.
Hi, my name is Anna and I'm from the soccer crazy town of Ba. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Fashion ATMs have been revealed in the capital city in an effort to assist aspiring local designers. ANZ Bank has entered into a partnership with Fashion Council of Fiji to help connect local designers to business opportunities. Fashion Council of Fiji Chair Faraz Ali says such partnerships will assist aspiring designers build their business skills.
Our partnership is going to involve further training for fashion entrepreneurs through the Money Minded program, which a lot of our members have already taken advantage of, which will involve cash flow management, understanding banking practices, etc.
We promote the locals. We promote the local stuff, made in Fiji or Fiji made, okay? And I think that's where the focus is going to be.
The much-awaited My FNPF Centre food court will be opening tomorrow. The centre will contain 8 restaurants, which are Sri Lankan Express, Bet's Grill, Jolly Hot Food, Hungry Honcho's, Blue Sky, Noodle Story, Big Green Salad and Gloria Jeans. FBC TV will be conducting television OBs from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., while radio OBs will take place from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. The world markets have been quite active this week. Elizabeth from HFC Bank now gives us an update.
Yes, Rachel. Yesterday we had the Bank of Japan's policy rate decision that remained at negative 0.1%. Comparing it against the basket of currencies that the Fijian dollar is fixed against, it is the only country with a negative interest rate. The United States also released their consumer confidence for the month of January, and it decreased to 111.8 from an expected 112.5, which weakened the US dollar. New Zealand's unemployment rate released this morning was worse than expected from 4.8% to 5.2%, which caused the Kiwi to dip by 213 points. The remainder of the week looks busy. There will be a few economic data releases that influences the market. This includes the US policy rate tomorrow and the Bank of England also releasing their policy rate on Thursday, and on Friday we have the non-farm payrolls.
Looking towards today's exchange rates, the Chinese yuan and the US dollar rose today, closing at $3.27 and 47 cents respectively. Our regional dollar, the Australian dollar, rose by 18 points to close at 62 cents, while the New Zealand dollar and the PNG Kina dropped to close at 64 cents and $1.32 respectively. Onto the commodities market, oil rose slightly to close at $53.29 a barrel. That's up by 8 points. Gold also rose by $17.80 an ounce to close at $1,212, while silver also rose to close at $17.51 an ounce. Arlington Wharf in Rakiraki reopened this morning after 14 years. This is expected to boost the Rakiraki economy as people from Northern Viti-Levu will now travel to and from Arlington Wharf to Vanua-Levu instead of leaving from the Natovi jetty. Savartambua reports.
This wharf was closed in 2003. The last time Serwoy Mboletao ran her canteen business from here, she's hopeful to start all over again. Opening of this wharf will boost our business, so I'm very thankful. The reopening of this wharf means a lot to everyone in Ra. Everyone expects increased business activity in the area.
I'm operating one taxi here, so I'll get runs now.
The Arlington Wharf in Rakiraki was closed in 2003 after the vessel Obalau sank close to the wharf. Sabira Tambua, FBC News.
And that's it from the business desk tonight. Here's Jamie with the latest in sports.
Thanks, Rachel, and good evening. Coming up, teams warned about dangerous tackles ahead of Sydney Sevens. And fitness a concern for Fiji under-21 netballers. This and more after the break.
Well, what they Rokuta, my Vonokula and Rasa Lutoka, Duba Talitaka Navarro on a radio Fiji one.
Bulan Arango Pina, my Corviri Nandi, of the Talitaka Navarro and a radio Fiji one, na Procaramu, Masmasu, and Mataklai.
Oya, Tony Kurinabila, my Bunaguru, Namakete Hinga Tokapwe, the Talitakina Navarro on a radio Fiji one, Guinea and Domoiviti.
Na radio Fiji one, Nandomoiviti, Navonga and Nibianan.
The Vodafone Fiji 7 side went through scrimmage sessions against Kenya and Papua New Guinea today ahead of the Sydney tournament this weekend. The Gareth Baber coach side is looking to go one better from the cup final finish in Wellington last week. Rohit Deo reports.
The Fiji 7 side is trying to rectify mistakes made in Wellington and had a go against two teams who will be playing in Sydney this weekend.
All players are fit and came through, and it was good to get the boys back into some running loads and tempo of game.
Baber has gained a lot of confidence from the tournament in New Zealand, but knows his team will need to deliver consistent performances in Australia if they are to win.
To continue with performance levels that we achieved last weekend, and try to get more consistent in the way that we're doing that through game. Pleased with obviously what we did last weekend, but realise that there's areas of our game that we can improve.
Back at home, the hype for the Sydney tournament is slowly building up.
He offloads. Last Wellington Sevens, I saw Fiji was getting good, but this week they will take the cup.
I expect the Fiji team to win this week.
I think they played well last week. I think Coach Beba know what to do this weekend during Sydney 7. I think they play well this weekend.
Fiji's first match is against Samoa at 11:36 a.m. on Saturday, after which they play Wales and France. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
Host Australia will be out to make amends after failing to make the Cup quarter-finals last weekend. Players aged as low as 18 will lead the team's campaign in Sydney. Rohit Deo reports.
Hutchison, the go-to man, into a little bit of space.
The Australian Sevens team have not had much to show for so far this season.
Now they set it up again on the 22.
We don't want to be finishing where we're finishing, but we all understand where we're at as a squad. We lost 12 players after Rio.
19-year-old Henry Hutchison is the third most capped player in the team and will carry a load of...
Goes for the line, reaches out and he's over! Henry Hutchison.
Third most capped player in the team, so at 19 it's a bit weird taking on a different role compared to last year, but look, that's the position we're in at the moment, so glad to do that.
Charlie Taylor.
Rugby League convert Charlie Taylor made his debut in Dubai and wants to make the homecoming more special.
It's a lot faster, so it's at times I
think to myself, you know, I've got to push myself up, I've got to quickly get to the breakdown. There's like different times where you go through the game and you just think, you know, you have to do this better, I have to do this more quickly.
Australia is in Pool D with New Zealand, Scotland and Papua New Guinea. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
Teams taking part of the Sydney Sevens this weekend will need to be extra careful when it comes to tackles. Referees have been advised to provide minimum leniency to players who make dangerous tackles. The Fiji Sevens side was on the receiving hand in Wellington last weekend, popping 3 yellow cards for illegal tackles.
This week we've got a real strong directive from World Rugby around high tackles. You know, it's a really important part of the game at the moment, and medical specialists have done a lot of tests over the last few years, and the data is showing that when you get 2 blokes coming in both in an upright position, the propensity for concussion is much higher than really what we'd like.
Fitness is an area of concern for the Fiji Under-21 netball team ahead of the World Youth Netball Championships in Botswana in July. As Meli Tavanga reports, after their recent build-up matches, fitness stood out like a sore thumb.
After competing in the International Netball Series, the Baby Pearls have a fair idea of what is expected to take on the world's best.
If you look at the scoreline, it's a pretty respectable scoreline, you know. From our girls that we have, you know, very, very inexperienced girls who are not exposed to the best of training, you know, when you're looking at nutrition, the psychology, the strength and conditioning, the coaching, and the way they played, you know, so it's very, very encouraging. So,
renowned fitness expert Henry Elder has been roped in to fix the woes.
Doing some base work again, working on their base endurance and also their strength, before we move into a little bit more specific phase of training.
Assistant coach Philo Korvolovula says they are confident of rectifying the fitness issue.
We will have a fitness test before the championships and see their fitness level, and it's been improving since we started.
Fitness will need to be second to none when the World Championships starts against the top guns of the world. Fiji will not want to have lost a battle even before it has begun. So it's about being at 100%. Meli Tavanga, FBC Sports.
Fiji football coach Christoph Gamel has been visiting districts in search for new players to rope in for national duties. After visiting Lautoka on Monday and Nandi yesterday, he already has his eye on a few district reps. Rohit Deo with the story.
The coach is not wasting any time, even when the national side is not in camp, having already identified 6 players from Lautoka to join his team.
I follow the training, and at the end I have asked to 6 players to be ready. But I don't know if I will take all of them, because I will go again to see them.
Gamal has been trying to arrange for friendly matches for the national side, but is facing hiccups.
For the moment, some national team, they are booked already, and it's difficult to make some big travel, because I understand for some club, sometimes I will release the guys, the players to the club, because I don't want that national team go against the club. So.
Meanwhile, the Jet Setters know a lot of eyes will be upon them in the Vodafone Premier League opener this Sunday against Rewa.
Yeah, I think it will be a tough match. You know, we were hoping to get another team, but I think Rewa is one of the tougher sides. They have already started the preparation for the O-League fairly early, I think in December, and they have been sort of training. They have been playing matches against the Fiji side, against Lautoka and also Ba.
With the National League starting, it's not only about winning the title, as the eyes of the new coach will be firmly fixed on the players. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
That's sports for this evening. Coming up, weather with Angie. And in the world of the weird and wonderful, you don't want to miss the amazing story of Jiwan Prasad, who has traveled most of Vanua Levu on foot, selling homemade snacks. Find out more after the break.
बत्तीरी सिंह टोका के आसफ अली बात करता है और रेडियो फीजी 2 हमें बहुत पसंद है और रेडियो फीजी 2 के अलाउंसर लोग जितना है बहुत अच्छे लोग हैं, बहुत लाइक करता है रेडियो फीजी 2।
हमारा नाम रमिता है, हम नेडी से है, हमें रेडियो फीजी 2 पे पुराने गाने अच्छे लगते हैं।
हमारा नाम सोनू है, बा मार्केट टैक्सी ड्राइवर, रेडियो फीजी 2 सब टाइम सुनता है।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
Apple looks like it's going to go big for the new iPhone, with strong rumors that the 2017 model will undergo big changes as it's the handset's 10th anniversary. These changes include a possible name change to iPhone 8 rather than iPhone 7s. Angie is here with the latest from the weather world.
Good evening and welcome to the Weather World. Let's name our day gorgeous. It was a gorgeous one indeed. It was a bit cloudy after sunrise, but as we moved into the day, the sun lit up, giving us warm temps. But expect light rain tonight, and this will definitely cool us off. Let's take a peek in the west. Temperatures were at 32 with light winds. Eastwards from Peck Harbor to Suva, conditions were at 32 as well. And in the beautiful north, boy oh boy, Lambasa was scorching at 34 degrees, while the hidden paradise was at 31. Ice blocks can be one of the best remedies for this kind of weather. For tomorrow, it will be much like today, with a band of rain arriving from northeast. I made it sound scary, didn't I? But there's nothing to worry about, as some afternoon scattered showers are expected in parts of Viti Levu and Vanua Levu. Further ahead on to Friday, few areas of the country are most likely to get rain. At sea, southeast winds 10 to 15 knots with moderate seas. Moving on to tides, the next high tide tonight is at 9:48 p.m. with a low tide tomorrow morning at 4:08 a.m. And that's the weather scene for today, Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. On Fijian Pulse today, we asked the people, should Fijians still consider migrating to the United States of America given all the restrictions under the Trump administration?
I think the Fijians should continue applying for it. So when they go to this, they find job, then can save money for the family and kids.
If they are in a family and their children, they can have like a good education there. If their family is there, they can also have better to support their family there. If they are don't have anything in Fiji.
It's better to stay here in Fiji because it's safe and we have given freedom and all. And if he can do that to Muslim, he can also do anything to Fijians.
In the world of the weird and the wonderful, a 38-year-old Lambasa man has walked around almost all of Vanua Levu on foot while selling homemade snacks. FBC News caught up with him as he shared his story of making ends meet during hard times. Eleanor Rangai with the story.
For 30 years, Jawan Prasad has been doing this, walking barefoot and selling bean, peanuts and other snacks from village to village.
Wherever I go, I walk barefoot. When I finish selling, then only I catch a van or bus that comes by. Now, if a van stops, I won't get in. There is still a lot to sell.
Originally from Bulileka in Lambasa, Prasad left school at just year 3 and started selling to pay for food on the table after his parents passed away.
Selling in the town area is not very profitable. In one whole day, I can get only $10. In the villages, I get $60, $70, $80 to $90 and even $100 a day.
Prasad has almost walked around Vanua Levu, with the exception of Nambowalu in Bua. FBC News caught up with him in Waturoba after selling at Nayarambali village.
See how hot it is now. I don't feel anything. Nothing at all.
Sometimes Prasad spends a week or two away from home, spending the night in the village that is his last stop for the day. He gets up early the next morning and continues his journey. His secret to enduring the long walks under the hot sun is 2 bottles of water to keep him hydrated. Eleanor Turangaibiu, FBC News.
Recapping the main stories, where is the asylum seeker from PNG remains the question. Garment industry loses millions due to skills shortage, and shocking rape statistics for January. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. Now to our poll question this week, we are asking, is the Education Ministry correct in banning junk food from schools? To answer, visit our FBC website. Before we go, today's shot of the day was sent in by Horizon Photography. A common sight along the Suva foreshore beautifully captured She could be catching fish for the dinner table tonight or to sell for some extra income. Send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. Until next time from the team and I, good night.
I'm Anare Sorbakroa of Nayabu Wenibuga Telebu. Whenever I want to tune in to listen to great music, I always tune in to my favorite radio station, Gold FM, only the classic.
My name is Lita. We love listening to Gold FM here at the Fiji Hideaway Resort and Spa. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
We here at Kano Waterfront Lautoka love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.